Hi ladies. Okay, so the big thing right now is contouring, and everybody wants to know how to contour and what products to use in order to contour. And the entire point of contouring your face is just simply to help to accentuate your cheekbones, accentuate your different features. It also is very helpful. It can kind of take a few pounds off the face, and it can just lift and brighten and make your face look more youthful. And so really contouring is the trick that is what makes the movie stars look different than our everyday look. It's contouring, it's highlighting and accentuating their features. And so I hope that you enjoyed this little video that I made on tips to use our Mary Kay products to contour. Enjoy. Okay, so just for the sake of time, I do already have my foundation primer and my main shade of foundation on. And so I always recommend that you start with the foundation that actually does match your face the best at the shade that it is right now, and of course matching along the neck so that you don't have a makeup line. And then the next thing I like to do is to take my bronzer, and this is the little compact mini. I love our compact mini, and I've gotten a really neat ideas from some friends where I have my eye colors and my cheek color here, and then I got a little magnetic strip and I put it in the bottom so I can put my bronzer in the bottom. And so it's just another way. Normally this is for the applicators to fit into, but it's just kind of neat if you want to be able to put more stuff in it. And of course I always use my cosmetic brushes, my Mary Kay brushes anyway, so I didn't really need the little applicators. So this is our light to medium bronzer. Any skin tone can also use the medium to dark. It's just a more deep kind of espresso cocoa color, so it can be a little intense. You have to be a lot more careful with it. So the light to medium is great because you can just, it's a lot more forgiving. You can just kind of play with it. And I just go underneath my cheekbones. Now, depending on your face shape, you will contour a little bit differently in order to make your face appear more oval. And so I'm going to show you a sheet of paper that I found that you can actually just go online and look for bronzing tips for different face shapes. But my face is kind of in between like oval and oblong. So but the way that I'm doing it today is pretty general, kind of works for everybody. Then do a little bit of bronzer on the side of the nose, and that is going to help to just make the nose a little bit smaller looking. And then I go along the bottom, so I go the sides and then along the bottom. Okay, so a little bit just under the chin as well. And then since I have bangs now, I don't always have to do much on the forehead, but generally speaking, you want to go along the top of the forehead and then along the side. Okay, and what that's going to do is, again, it's just going to give that definition, and it's going to make the forehead look just a little bit smaller and more narrow. If you have a really small forehead and you don't want it to look smaller, then you might skip this step. Okay, so let's see if we can bring that back. Okay. There we go. All right, so the next thing that I'm going to do is my blush. And just for fun, since we just got our spring line, I'm going to use our Mary Kay at Play Lip and Cheek Stick. And sorry, not spring line, this is for the summer. And it is a new regular line item, and I really love it. And so this color is the Peach Pop. It also, if you want a more berry color, this is called Razzleberry. So this has more of a corally orange, and this is a little bit cooler berry. And you can just, it looks very intimidating when you first look at it, but it's actually really fun and easy to put on, and I love the color. Okay, so we've got a little bit here. I'm just going to blend that in like that. Okay, so now what I'm going to be doing is lifting under the eye area. And so our facial highlighting pen is fantastic. If you want to use it by itself, you can actually just touch up throughout the day and do highlighting with it throughout the day using a shade 1, 2, or 4, depending on your skin tone. Some skin tones can even use a 3 by itself, but it's very peachy, and so it's perfect for covering up the dark circles. And so this is one of my new favorite tips, and you're just going to take the highlighting pen in the shade 3. Now, if you're doing this by itself, what you do is actually mix a little bit. You can just put some on your hand and then use the concealer brush. This is the Mary Kay concealer brush, and blend it together with your foundation shade or concealer shade. So let's say, for example, you're not really wearing foundation that day, but you do want to cover up the dark circles. Then you can just mix a little bit of the shade 3 and then your concealer or foundation together and just put it where the dark circles are. I, however, am going to go back over this with a lighter foundation shade to do the highlighting and contouring. So you'll see that. So I can just put it directly on because I'm going to cover it up anyway. But if I just left it like this, it looks very orangey. I don't know if you can really tell from this lighting, but the next thing I'm going to do is my foundation in a lighter shade. So for example, on my entire face right now, I am a beige 4, and then this is a beige 1. So I just go down a shade, and what you want to do is we can match you, but if you have a olive or yellow or pink undertone, as you get lighter and darker in the different seasons, that's not going to change. So you want to keep the undertone the same, but you're going to just get, lighter and darker as you need to with, tanning and things like that. So here is where you can see it's just kind of like a triangle circle under the eye, and then carrying it down here is also going to lift and contour and kind of brighten the face, and just blend it in. Okay. And what you'll also notice is you can take this, and it's just called a 2-minute eye lift. You just take that foundation, and of course I already have my eye makeup on, and you do a 45-degree angle. So you're gonna be able to see the difference from one side to the other after doing this. And it just kind of cleans up. So it's also kind of nice because if you're doing a more dramatic eye and you've got makeup is kind of fallen, then you want to just brush that off the best you can. But you're going to be doing this over it at the end anyway. So that's going to really just clean that up. Okay, so you can see the difference from one side to the other. Isn't that crazy? Now you can also do a highlighting pen for this, but I just like to use my lighter foundation shade. I think it's a little bit easier. And you can kind of go and lift under here. This is going to also make your mouth look a little bit fuller. Okay, so that is that side. Now I'm going to do the other. And if you're not sure whether you are olive, yellow, or pink, kind of a neat little tip to figure it out is if you don't burn, you are probably an olive skin tone. If you tend to burn a little bit and then tan, you are a yellow skin tone, and if you just burn and don't tan, you're a pink skin tone. So if that kind of helps you to know, and of course, if I'm not your consultant, then your Mary Kay consultant can definitely match you. That's one of the things we're trained in doing. And if I am your consultant and I haven't already matched you, then I certainly can do that at our next appointment. Okay. But we do usually match your foundation at your very first consultation, so that's kind of cool to know that. It also makes it great because then when you call me and you say, okay, I went to the beach, or I'm about to go to the beach and get darker, then I can just look at your profile card and I can know, based on what foundation you're using right now, where to go from there. I don't even have to see you in person again to be able to know if you want to go 1 shade darker or 2 shades darker. Because again, your undertone doesn't change. So it makes it really easy for our customer service throughout the year. Okay, so there is the highlighting with that. You can also do a little bit along the nose. So I'm still using the concealer brush here. And I'm just getting a little bit. And you saw how I put it here to brighten. And then you can also just carry it down the center of the nose. And that's just going to give it even more definition. Okay, and sometimes I have to kind of go back a little bit there and a little bit there, and then you can just kind of, now you can take a really, really fine brush. You can use the concealer brush, and you can even take bronzer, and I'll go ahead and do that now so you can just see how to do that. So if you're really wanting to get more definition on your nose and make it look even smaller, then you can just get a pencil, a brush like this. Let's see, I might need to use my mirror for this, but you're going to draw a line. See if you can see how I'm doing this. And then you can even draw to a point. So you can, it's kind of hard to tell on the camera, but so you can kind of see where that line is. All right, and then you do the same thing on the other side. Okay, and so that just gives you even more, and then of course you would blend it out though. So it's just going to give you a much more defined nose there. Okay, and so it might look like it's a little obvious right now, but then when I'm all done, you'll see how it all works together. Okay, so now I'm going to fill in the eyebrows. Eyebrows are hugely important. I don't have to do too much with mine because I'm blonde, but I have pretty thick, deep, dark eyebrows, so I don't have to do much. But most people really can benefit a lot from really defining your eyebrows. And what you want to do is a straight line from your nose is where they should start. Go straight across the pupil. That's where the arch should be. And then you go straight across from the nose to the corner of the eye, and that's where they should end. And so if I'm looking up close, my eyebrows basically end where they're supposed to, but they're so light and fine at that point that it doesn't look like it from a distance. So it really helps to frame just by extending that line just a little bit. See how that can really, again, just make the eyes pop that much more. And you just fill in, and then on this side, I have a scar. And so it just helps to fill in that scar, and you just use the appropriate pencil. This is the classic blonde. We have mechanical pencils, and we have lots of different shades that we can match you in, and you just draw small little strokes like the length of your actual eyebrow hair. Okay, so that defines the eyebrows. And then this is a fun little trick that I learned as well. This is the caramel lip liner. Depending on your skin tone, how dark your skin is and all that, you might choose a different, like our chocolate or something like that. But this is our caramel, and what I'm doing is actually going outside the line. Okay. Here, and then my mouth is a little bit uneven. It goes a little bit more straight down on that side. So if you have, most of us aren't, perfectly symmetrical. And so this is a great way to make your mouth a little more symmetrical by just kind of adjusting where you put the line on the different sides. And then what I'm doing here is I'm actually doing contouring for the mouth to make my lips look fuller, and you just kind of blend it out. So this is almost on my skin more than my lip line. And then I go back and I put my lip liner or lipstick or whatever I'm going to do on over it. But this actually, you can see how it just makes my lip look a little more pouted, like that. And then just for fun, this is our cheek and lip. So I'm going to show you how I did this on my cheeks. And then now, and it's very powdery. It feels really good, and I've been impressed at how long it lasts. It's almost like a lip. It almost feels like a lip stain, but it's not as drying. Okay. So there are the lips. And the last thing is, this is the MK at Play in the Goldmine shade. I like using this for just a little bit of highlighting right along the top of the cheekbone and then on the inside of the eye here. And this is just going to lift and brighten and accentuate the cheekbones and just give you that little bit of glow that isn't going to be necessarily noticeable, but it just makes your skin kind of look radiant and healthy, and it just helps to make your cheekbones pop. Okay, and oh shoot, I actually, before I do that, I forgot one more thing, and that is our translucent powder. This is the Mary Kay translucent powder. So I do that first, and then I do the Gold Mine. But I love that Gold Mine. It's so great. And you can use it, it's meant to be an eye pencil, so you can use it as an eye pencil as well. You can use it for as your highlighting shade here, or even just along the eyes. Like I've actually done the look where it's my eyeliner, and that looks beautiful as well. But this is just another way to use it. So, but I love our translucent powder. This is going to set the look. It also helps because, you know, you've done all that definition and contouring, and you don't want it to be obvious. And so having this translucent powder, you don't have to worry about matching your skin year round, you know, because it goes on in sheer and clear. But it also is going to help to blend all that contouring that you did so that it doesn't look noticeable. It helps to set the look, and it absorbs the oil throughout the day. So it's just a really great go-to powder that's good for everybody. Okay, so there you go. There are some quick tips on how to contour, and I hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you.